Hello everyone, I'm Bella of WhatBellaMade, and today I'm going to show you how to sew a built-in bra into the Hallon Dress by Paradise Patterns. Now, for this tutorial, I will be sewing the Hallon Dress View A with the ruffled back. But the great thing about this tutorial is it can be applied to almost any sewing pattern. So while I'm going to sew the Hallon Dress, feel free to use another pattern. This is what the dress looks like on the inside with the built-in bra. You can see that it covers both front and back and extends below the lowest point on the back. So that means for all of those people who were a bit weary of people being able to look down your dress, they won't be able to anymore. Let's talk about fabric. So the fabric for this built-in bra right here that I used is a pretty lightweight jersey, and it works great for keeping everything in its place. But if you would like a built-in bra with a little more support, then I do suggest a heavier weight jersey or a stretch fabric that has good retention and spring back. So you could use a power mesh, for example. Let's look at our pattern. So if you're making the Hallon Dress with me, you're going to want to cut out your front piece, your back piece. Again, you can choose if you want to make view A or view B. I'm making view A. If you're making view A, you're going to want to cut out your ruffles and of course all your neck bands and armbands. Now, I'm going to talk briefly about some pattern modifications that I have made to my pattern. This is my front piece, and if you are also making the Hallon Dress, you know that it has a bust dart here coming in from the armhole. Now, I have decided to eliminate that bust dart. I find that this dress has more than enough ease and that I don't need this bust dart. So I have rotated it out to the side seam. I will link to a bust dart manipulation tutorial down below. Now, I've also lowered my neckline by 2 centimeters. Again, this is view A, and on view A you have all the ruffles in the back, which does add weight to the back of the dress, which makes the front pull up into my neck. So I have decided to lower the neckline by 2 centimeters at the center front. And I find that that helps that problem immensely. So now we need to make the pattern for our built-in bra. What you're going to need, if you're making the Hallon Dress, you are going to need your front pattern and the back pattern of view B. Even if you're making view A, you're still going to need the back pattern of view B, because the back pattern of view B does not include the ruffles, and we don't want ruffles for our built-in bra. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take the back pattern of view B, and you're going to measure down from the center back, which is the lowest point on the back, 3 inches. and you're going to cut a straight line to the side seam. Now, once you've done that, you're going to take your back piece and lay it over your front piece and match them up here at the underarm. The underarm should be the same as your dress pattern, okay? Now, you're going to mark where the back pattern, and your back pattern will probably have this piece. I have already cut out my back piece and modified it to my measurements, but you won't have done that yet. So your back piece will probably have this little chevron here. And you're going to mark where that back piece comes to at the waist point on the front piece. And you're going to draw a line, a straight line to the center front. And now you should have a piece that looks like this. Okay, but it will probably again have this chevron. So once you have traced and cut out the front and back piece of your built-in bra, it will probably look something like this. Meaning it will probably have this extra chevron. And that is because the dress has a lot of ease. Now, we don't want any ease in our built-in bra. We want it to be nice and snug around our bodies. So we need to cut these pieces down so that they fit around our waist. So you're going to need to take your waist measurement, and my waist measurement measures out at 29 inches. And you're going to need to cut down at the side seam however much you need to make it fit your waist measurement, and cut it off, going from 0 at the armhole, the underarm, and to whatever you need to make it fit your waist. You don't want to take anything off at the underarm because it needs to fit with the dress underarm perfectly. Once you've cut out all your pattern pieces and modified them, it's time to cut your cloth. Once you have everything cut out, it's time to start sewing. We're going to start with sewing our side seams and center back seam if you have one. You're also going to want to sew your built-in bra pieces together with right sides facing at the side seams. Like this and like this. And you can finish your seams however you want. I will be using a serger. I'm finishing the seams on my dress with French seams, but feel free to use whatever seam finishing you want. Now I'm sewing the side seams of my built-in bra. Again, I'm using my serger, but feel free to use your regular sewing machine, either with a straight stitch or a lightning bolt stitch. I have just sewn my side seams on my dress, and I sewed the side seams on my built-in bra. And now, if you are making view A of the Hallon dress with the gathers in the back like I am, it is now time to gather up the back. If you are not making view A, then skip to the next step. I've put 2 parallel base stitches along the back, and now it's time to gather the back. You can make your back as long or short as you want. I'm going to make my back 25 inches long from tip to tip. Once you have your gathers just as you want them, it's time to attach the built-in bra. I am going to put wrong side to wrong side. Just like this, and pin. Once you've pinned your built-in bra to your dress, it's time to run a baste all the way around the top edge of the dress. So I have basted all around the top edge of the dress, attaching the built-in bra to the inside of the dress. And now it's time to attach the back and front bias binding. So right side to right side.
Once you have everything pinned, it's time to sew the bias binding onto the back along the top edge. After you've sewn the bias binding onto the back, you're going to want to press and trim your seam. After everything's pressed and ready to go, it's time to close the bias binding. I'm going to fold it over once and one more time to enclose the raw edge. Now I'm going to stitch just to the right of the seam on the bias binding side to enclose the binding. Once you've attached the bias binding to the back, you're going to do the same exact thing to the front neckline.
I have attached the bias binding to the front and the back. So now it's time to do the armholes, and feel free to cut the excess bias binding off so that it follows the line, follows the curve of the armhole, like so. To prep the shoulder straps, you are going to sew them into a loop like this with right sides together. Making sure not to twist them. And I'm going to put a centimeter wide seam right across the top on both. I highly recommend already prepping your straps by ironing them in half and then folding in the edges towards the middle. I'm going to sew those together, and then I am going to attach them to the armholes with right sides together. So attaching the straps can be a little fiddly, and this is how I do it. I start at the underarm, matching the seam of the strap to the underarm seam as a kind of anchor. And then I pin up one side of the armhole. Now, I like my straps I like the gap between the front and the back on the strap. I like it to be, the distance to be a little smaller than what the pattern suggests. I find it fits me better. So if you want to do it like I'm doing it, feel free. If you just want to follow the pattern, feel free, and you'll figure out what works best for you. From the point of the front, I'm going to measure 3.5 inches. And that's where I want this point to meet. And now I'm going to pin down this side, and it may be that I need to readjust. It's looking pretty good though, but you might need to readjust your pinning, which is totally normal and fine. So now I have my armhole pinned, again with right sides to right side, and I'm going to stitch from one end all the way around to the other end. And I'm going to do that on both sides.
Once you've stitched your straps on, you're going to want to press and trim your seams. Now fold your bias binding over once and then one more time, again to enclose the raw edges. Once everything's pinned in place, then you're going to top stitch the bias binding, just like you did for the front and the back.
Okay, you have just finished putting all the bias binding around the neck, the back, and both armholes. So now is a good time to try on the dress and make sure that you like where the built-in bra is coming to at your waist. Remember, an inch is going to be turned up. And you want to make sure that it fits snugly around your torso. So try on your dress, make any adjustments you need to the built-in bra, and now we're going to attach the elastic waistband. So here I have my elastic band, and remember I made the circumference of the waist of my built-in bra to be 29 inches, which is my waist measurement. And I'm going to cut my elastic band about 1.5 inches smaller than this circumference. So I am going to cut at 27.5 right here. Okay, now I am going to stitch the waistband together to make it a loop. So I have stitched my elastic as a loop. Now we're going to attach it to the bottom of the waistband. And this is how I like to do it, so that it is all enclosed. Feel free to use whatever method you like. I am going to attach it to the right side of the built-in bra. But first I'm going to put some markers. So I have my marker for the center back. I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to put a pin to mark the center front. And then putting center front to center back, I'm going to put a pin at the side and one at this side. So I have 4 markers. I'm going to do the same to my built-in bra. I want to put 4 even markers. Here are my 4 markers. I'm going to attach the waistband to the built-in bra, matching up the markers. And I'm attaching it to the right side, which is the side that is up against your body. So I'm attaching it to the edge on the right side of the built-in bra. Here.
Now you're going to sew along the top edge with a zigzag stitch or your serger.
So you can see I have stitched along this edge, and now to fully encase the elastic, and also so that the elastic will not irritate your skin, you are going to fold it over once and then fold it over one more time. This is the right side. That's the side that goes against your skin, and this is the wrong side that goes up against the dress. So now I am going to stitch right along the top edge here with a zigzag stitch on my regular sewing machine. If you have a cover stitch, great, you can cover stitch that baby up, but I am going to use a zigzag stitch all the way around. So there you have it, nice and clean. This is the wrong side and this is the right side. So that is the built-in bra inserted and finished. And now all you have to do is finish up your dress however way it needs to be done. You'll either hem it or you're going to add the ruffles like me. It's done. And everything is in place. And no one can peep down the back of my dress because the elastic is right up against my dress. And the flow of the dress was not compromised at all because it's only attached along the top edge of the dress. So I hope this tutorial was helpful and easy to understand. Let me know how it goes for you. Tag me at WhatBellaMade and hashtag Bella's Built-in Bra Hack.